Hello filmmaker, this is Sabatovsky. Today you and I are going to talk about how to make normal good quality videos that take almost 50% of the time to prepare and don't make the exit suck. Let's go! Now it's gonna be like high school and start with how not to do it. How does everybody usually do?
Hey, Vanya, are you filming videos? Yes. Look, we have an order. He says, okay. Vanya briefly thinks and calls up directly to the people who need him. They mean the date of the shoot. That is, they have it like these negotiations have already passed. They said what they need is expensive, fashionable and rich. He said, okay. He came to the shoot, took some pictures, then came home, edited, and the result is this.
But why did it happen? He seemed to have done the right thing, but the problem was that at the stage, not in the preparation phase, practically nothing had been done. This is one. And two, there are the things Vanya did himself. When each of the things has to have a bunch of people here. And here for post-production. So now we're going to look at how to do it. A normal person's per plan. It would seem the same, but the buns you and I will have to spread out and add a few steps. We're going to look at this in our studio, an example of the studio Film Sabatovsky, in the stage of negotiations. The first thing we do is the concept. We offer the customer it immediately and not even like this. The first before the concept is exploration. As soon as an order comes to you, you try to understand as much as possible the customer's business or product or any other thing to shoot a video. You go to the site, you look at the competitors, you pull out all the information you can so that when you come to the initial meeting, then we have where will be. You come not empty-handed. You don't come and say,
what we have and where, and tell us this and this.
You shouldn't waste time. You should come already and you say, you need it, this. And they think, the guys are ready. From the way we have done field exploring, we offer the customer 3 concepts to choose that finally, to understand what he likes and what he really wants. And we're all doing it before our first meeting. He picks one and says, yeah guys, it's cool, that's what I want. And we move on to the next step. Your first date, where you don't act like an alpha and a rich man, but you bring your cake with you as nicely as possible, say that you just come over for tea, get as close to him as possible, and then you start to be friends. And then you show a deep version of the concept that they picked out here. And just after that, when you went from the concept of the movie to the meaning of the movie, and so on, we're already defining with the pitch. With the stylistics, you start searching the references in the internet, because you will have your work, but not the fact that it will fit exactly the task that will be assigned. Therefore, no, there's nothing wrong with pulling some videos of the internet, bringing them to a meeting, packing them up in concept, because then the customer will have the video in his head, and you won't have it the miscommunication. When you hit one in the head, he had another, everything was filmed, and he said, I actually wanted something else. In order to prevent the thing, we try to maximize all stages visualized. We do loot boxes, we do sketches, screenshots, stills from videos and so on. Oh, you put the clips on, so you can give as much information as possible. So you have a single vision of the whole project. It's very important. Next we have a script. Writing it. What it is, I don't have to explain it. Then the director's treatment is this whole thing, only summarized in one document, so that you and your client can understand everything. There's a deadline, a work schedule and stuff, and a storyboard, if you want it. If you don't want it, then you're Vanya, and if you're Vanya, you're right here. Therefore, you make at least some storyboard. There's a customer does not demand for himself or even the customer demands. Then we do it all the more. And we go to production! Location scouting. The first thing we start with is that we need to find a location. We need to understand how to shoot it safely. If you want, you can do it in the studio, okay? And if you want something, already understand that you need something that's more entourage, lively and so on, and you're walking around the city looking for something else, if this is a place for which it's supposed you don't have to pay, be prepared for the fact that you might be interfered with the guards there, the tenants who are nearby, or the people who go back and forth. You have to consider all the things. And we have the sun moving around, and we consider the time of day, what kind of lightning will be there if you use natural light, parking, police, firefighters, if the electricity, everything. So at this point, your head should be on these questions, and at best, there's a specialist who's looking for a location. Then, we identify with all the specialists we need. Actually, this is where you do it. So when you call and say that you have shooting that day, and they were all available. So this is right here, in the stage of directorial treatment. And storyboarding, we're still defined with specialists. Right? Good. Everybody called and said, we're coming on a day like this, filming starts. Your favorite is filming. Let's go. Light, cam, props, actors, etc. The most important thing is that you have under each of these ideas that was an edible specialist if you can. Because then you can unload your head with all these questions. Deal directly with the whole picture and directing, and get quality product output. Because if you have a headache, you have to pick up the shot, or you have a headache that you don't know which camera, which lens to take, especially the actors, light and so on. You just don't have time to bring this video to life, which is going to be very hard. So you're the whole team, and here's a team of 4 or 5 people at least, besides the actors. You should be doing good with her, not doing shit. Postproduction, hurrah! We're almost at the finish line, and all we have to do is do a montage, sound design, color correction, and in the final, pull all this together. And hope that we get that clip that you imagined in your head in the first place. And if that's all right, that's the way it's supposed to be. And for each task, again, there's a single specialist, a single specialist, a single specialist. Yeah, guys, it's going to be more expensive if you do all this on your own, but we're going for it. We must strive to lay. At this stage, you're still here estimate writing for the customer, a specialist for it, and for it. Because if we had not differentiated between labor, when the Industrial Revolution would happen and Henry Ford didn't make every single person sit down to tighten every single screw, we wouldn't be on Ford right now. That's why every man has his own particular task, and then in the end, the whole picture will be amazing. And we get a great movie out of it. Another small subtle point about the post-production stage, when you provide intermediate result to the customer, even if it is an intermediate result, please try to make it as high quality as possible, so that there are no small mistakes. So if we're out of the editing phase, that's it, we're out of the editing phase. Here, look, don't send him any intermediate result. It's better to talk about it verbally, or not send. Because he's gonna look at and think, guys, it's a complete picture at all or not. And you're gonna, no, there is still a color correction, there is still sound design to do, we'll change 30% of editing. And he has a general impression of the picture going bad, which is what we did. We write the script and send it to the customer for approval. There's a narrator's text for a minute, and the customer thinks, damn, I don't like it. And I'm like, what way? Give me a constructive comment. He says, I'm not high. And I'm like, okay, wait, step back, record a tape recorder, let him listen, and he says, yes, that's another matter, the text is the same. The main thing is that he saw the final version, and this is the thing to apply here too. I mean, try to fold as much as possible packaged version, not to mention the final assembly of the entire video after editing, sound design and color grading. And with that, our dear filmmakers, the film production lesson is coming to an end. But don't be upset. Subscribe to the channel, like it, ring the bell, and we'll do a separate episode on this idea and on this thing. and on the editing and post-production too. And we're going to tell you about our cases, about how we made advertisement for Euronews and did a cooking show on a TV station that we can talk about. But it won't be... not now. The release is over! Bye everyone.